Shalom Israel first. Only of all praise and glory honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Everyone see Apostle Elsewhere Millstone. Peace, salutation, one of Israel. For this session, what the title is, believe what you ask for. Alright? And, if you pray for something, believe that the Lord is going to hear you and answer you. Alright? Straight like that. Alright? Because, today, I prayed for two things, and, that demon that tries to be like, oh no, I don't know if the Lord's going to answer this. I don't know, no, fuck that, I prayed, I sent a request. May the Lord, answer it, Have that hope, have that confidence as you're about to read, all right? Fuck all that wavering stuff, because the Lord don't like that, because, well, let me just get the scriptures. 1 John 5:14, it says, and this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. And we know that that he hear us, whatsoever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we desire of him. All right. And why would the Lord not hear you if you serving him? What does the scripture say? Here, so let's get that scripture. John 9:31. It says, now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners. All right. But if any man be a worshiper of the Most High and doeth his will, him he heareth. So, boom. I ain't gonna lie. That's a highlight in a bookmark. Because that's heavy. And that's the confidence that we gotta have. Okay, I serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. I pray for some, and the Lord he gonna answer me. Because, we come into some times where we can't be wavering, we gonna be going through stuff where you're going to have faith. And if you don't have faith, then that's going to be a downfall. Because scripture says, what does scripture say? The just shall live by faith, So, through Jacob's trouble, the way the elect are going to get through it is through faith. It's through the belief of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua delivering, Lord willing, us. Lord willing to be part of the elect. All right. You're not going to enter Jacob's trouble and, just cruise by. We're going to be going through some shit. Acts 14:22. Through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of the Most High. All right. But the Lord, he going to save us out of all our troubles, as it's written. All right. Let's go to Sirach 2 and 12. It says, I started 11. It says, or I started 10. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So if you serving the Lord and you call upon him, the Lord, he going to answer. But you got to believe. All right. And you got to have that boldness, that confidence that, okay, yeah, my prayer's getting answered. And let me just wait, It says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. It says, woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that goes two ways. Woe unto him, destruction unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. All right, so that's the penalty for not believing the Lord, is destruction. If you don't believe the Lord, well, guess what? Right here, 2 Ezra 15:3 says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All right, and we're gonna be putting we're headed to a time where our faith is gonna be tested. All right, hence the hour of temptation, and we're gonna have to believe on the Lord, so we. Fuck, Salakia. Man, we gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. But it says that's Satan, bro. Some woman just walked by. I don't want to be, she's probably got a nigga. I don't want to be doing that. But Salaki, it's just a little sidetrack. But let me go to Let's go to James real quick. And this is not meant to be too long. It's kind of just straight to the point. You gotta have that boldness when we come to the Lord. James 1:5. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. All right, it says, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. All right, and you got to rebuke that doubt demon. There'll be times where, like, shit, today, bro, I threw them prayers up, and that fucking demon tried to, Lord ain't gonna answer you. Well, you remember last time, man, fuck that, bro. And the Lord answered me. All right, so rebuke that nigga, bro. But ultimately believe that what you pray for is what you gonna get. All right, obviously if it be according to the Lord's will. You can't be praying for no damn Lamborghini and shit. Like, bro, that shit, man, you tripping. All right, but let me get that one scripture. He was 14 or Slocky. He was 4:16. It says, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. All right, and let's get that word bold. Bold. It says stout-hearted, brave, confident, strong. Requiring or exhibiting courage, and that's a characteristic of a man, being courageous, and being faithful to the Lord, that's it's like I'm trying to gather my words, but that's a trait that the Lord requires of us. There you go. And yeah, but Slovakia, having brain farts and shit. But let me go to what's that one scripture? This comes to mind. Sirach 35. All right, Sirach 35 and 16. All right, Sirach 35 and 16. It says, he that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayers shall reach unto the clouds. So if you serve the Lord, your prayers are being heard, your prayers are being answered. It says, the prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds, until it come nigh he will not be comforted, and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. All right, so believe that. As we read in James, if you ask for some, believe that your prayer is going to be answered. Because that's what's required of us. We can't doubt the Lord. The Lord hates that. All right, Hebrews 1 and it says 6. It says, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. All right, so what you ask for, believe it. You throw something up there, believe it. That's why Scripture says, prepare before you pray. Let's get that. There you go. Sirach 18 and 23. It says, before thou prayest, prepare thyself, and be not as one that tempteth the Lord. Say like, let me just get this in the GNT. Sirach 18, 23. Sirach 18 and 23. It says, but before you make such a promise, be prepared to keep it. Don't try to test the Lord's patience. All right, that's cool. But basically, when you pray for something, don't just throw it up there and like a lob and hope, or just like a like a trick shot. Just throw it up there and hope it goes in. Like, nah, bro. These are calculated, shots, for lack of better words. Using this as an analogy. You shooting to make it. All right. So when you pray for something, we not praying and okay, well, I don't know if the Lord hears it. Well, if He answers it, is what it is. Like, nah, bro. You pray for something. You mean it. So we got to prepare ourselves. All right. Hopefully, that makes sense. But okay, yeah, it's a lot. But let me go to let's go to Tobit 12. All right, because the Lord, He's watching. All right, and best believe our prayers are being heard. All right, let me go to all right, let me go to Tobit 12 and 12. It says, now therefore, when thou didst pray, and Sarah thy daughter-in-law, I did bring the remembrance of your prayers before the Holy One. And when thou didst bury the dead, I was with thee likewise. So, the Lord, He sees, our deeds that we do toward His name. The Lord is not unrighteous to forget our works and labor of love, which we have showed toward His name. So, believe that. Simple as that. It says, and when thou didst not delay to rise up and leave thy dinner to go and cover the dead, thy good deed was not hid from me, but I was with thee. And now the Most High sent me to heal thee and Sarah thy daughter-in-law. I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels which present the prayers of the saints and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One. All right, so best believe I'm in it off here. Obviously I'm not the best speaker, but best believe your prayers are being answered. So, with that, you pray for something, believe that you're being heard. Believe that, your prayer is going to be answered. All right. Oh, that's what I want to get. Salakia. Having brain farts and shit, bro. Flower. All right, Froward. And this leads me to this scripture right here. It says, disobedient, turn against, perverse, difficult. It goes, about to depart, departing, doomed to die. The Lord hates a froward heart. Proverbs 11:20. It says, they that are of a froward heart are abomination to the Lord, but such as are upright in their way are His delight. All right. Sirach 36:20. It says, a froward heart, froward mind, a doomed to die heart causes heaviness. You got no hope. You lack in faith. It says, but a man of experience will recompense him. All right, a froward heart. So we can't be froward. We can't be. Let me see if I can get some more definitions. Froward, difficult to deal with. Rebellious, stubborn, perverse, deceitful. Contrary heart that rejects wisdom and guidance. All right, what's another word? Self-willed, willful, disobedient. It says moving away from someone, something, or someone. And you don't want your mind to, go away from the Lord, because this is Yahweh Bashmiah Shai is our hope. Scripture says, lean on thy own understanding. So if it's not of the Lord, then what is it? All right. So hopefully, it's well said and edifying. I want to give all praise, glory, honor to Yahweh Bashmiah Shai, Bashmiah Kakadash. Next time, shalom.